Good morning, we're here today at the wonderful Lindholme Lakes, amazing fishery this. So many lakes, such a big complex, and we've got 130 anglers here for our Garbolino Club Angler of the Year. I've known this venue for a lot of years, great association, nice people, but we've just taken one guy on under the Garbolino stable, and who better to actually help us today with this venue other than none other Dave Shires, current 2024 OMania champion. Great to have you on board, Dave.
Thanks, Darren. It's really appreciated.
Just said it, you know this venue really well. What do you reckon is going to happen today? Just considering weather, what's going on?
I've fished here for 20 odd years now. And when it's like this, it's red hot, there's a bit of a ripple on, it's going to fish really, really well. I think there's going to be the noted pegs you're going to catch on casters shallow, and then there'll be odd pegs to catch on the feed, a little hybrid feed or something like that. And if it's really difficult, you'll be catching underneath your casters with a little worm head, catching everything that swims.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the nice things about this place is you can sort of fish it to your strengths as well. I mean,
Of course you can, yeah.
You love shallow fishing, I know, it's great, but with all these islands and that around here, especially on Bonds Island,
oh yeah,
we can hear fish splashing already with people catching.
We're 10 minutes in, aren't we? Everybody's catching.
And they can do what they want.
Catch on the short pole, catch on paste, catch on a method to the island. Hopefully later on there'll be a few catching shallow. There's a lot of F1s in Bonds Eye particular.
Yeah.
And you can get loads and loads of bites doing that.
Well, we're going to have a walk round, I'm going to see what's happening. But before we do anything, I want you to tell me, give me the winning weight today.
I reckon the winning weight, it's going to be maybe 135 pounds I'm going for, winning weight.
I reckon that's a good guess, to be honest. I reckon I would have said 120 to 130 pound if it. Yeah.
Right angle on the right peg.
Exactly. It depends who's drawn what and how they're going to fish it. But there's certainly enough pegs to do that today.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yes.
Well, pegs. What we'll do is we'll crack on, have a look round, and try and report on a little bit later. So tell you what's happening. Well, it's halfway stage and sun's shining, wind's blowing. There's it was quite a slow start, and probably I'd have thought, Dave, not as busy as we thought at the start.
Yeah,
was
I
it?
think a few people thought it'd be lift off straight away. Weather's
we did,
great.
didn't we?
There's a ripple on, but that's fishing for you, isn't it?
It is, and you never know. But looking at the weather's nice today. It got really warm yesterday,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of that cold rain, didn't we?
Yeah, it's not been stable, has it? It's not been steady.
And I know that they've had to pump some water in here because they were losing water.
Yeah.
With all lack of rain, basically.
No rain, all of spring.
Always affects things, doesn't it? You never know, do you?
Yeah.
Fishing.
Yeah, little things like that, yeah.
Yeah. It's just trying to understand, taking it slowly at the start, because what we're seeing around the lakes now, there's quite a few anglers starting to catch well, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, the ones that have controlled the peg, they've got the feeding right, they've been accurate, it's windy. So you're feeding casters, even at 10, 11 metres, can go anywhere if you don't get it right.
Which what you said. You said that the ones that probably feed casters, try to catch fish shallow, they seem to be the ones that are catching the fish.
Absolutely, yeah. There are people catching now and catching really well.
Yeah. So Benny's top lake, we went up there quite early, didn't we?
Yeah, I went up there early and they were catching, some were catching down the edge shallow. It's 5, 6 foot deep by the reeds. Throwing casters in there, elastics ripping out. Pegs 3 and 6 were doing well.
You imagine they were going to have some good weights there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fish on Benny's.
Some good anglers on there as well, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And then coming down to beaches and Loco.
Tricky. Beaches first. Well, that's a lake where you often catch late on, pellets down your edge, catch the carp. So you might not be doing anything for 3 or 4 hours. Then you go down the edge and catch 50-pound of carp, no problem.
Yeah, but that's not a shallow lake, is it really?
It's 3 foot deep, so it's shallow in depth, but you haven't got the depth to fish shallow.
Yeah.
No, it can be too spooky on there.
Yeah. And Loco, there was a few people catching odd fish, but
We went up to, what was it now, 18, 19 on that side. A couple of lads fishing the overshotted rig early on, getting some success on there, 3 or 4 pound F1s, casters shallows again.
Yeah. Sun's out, casters out.
Exactly. That's it, yeah, it is.
Right, so we're behind Willows now. Laurel's isn't in.
Yeah.
Willow's the next one.
Bobby shoulder, peg 7, looks good. I think 1 or 2 of the lads that are fishing into the reedy corners are doing well. It's lower down as this lake, so you have got ripple on some pegs.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of that flat calm, and those F1s and carp are hiding in the corners.
Yeah, and those points jutting out.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably been fairly quiet lake.
Quiet lake, yeah.
And then finally on Bonsai. So we started there and they weren't catching particularly well.
Yeah, that was tricky.
That was
odd one on the feeder at the start, as usual.
Well, they're flying now, aren't they?
They're flying. That's people fishing pellets shallow, catching, fishing casters shallow, more down that bottom end when you're looking at pegs. I think it's Dean on peg 28 on Bonsai. He's catching shallow, like quite shallow and really well. And he's having a bit of a tussle with peg 30. And I do know on peg 28, some of the bigger F1s come in there, you catch them up to 3 or 4 pound on there. So he's having a good match. 34's catching as well.
Yeah. Everybody on Bonsai seems to be catching shallow.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I mean, we saw 1 or 2 bigger fish caught. Me and Dave, like there's a lad caught a 6, 7 pound carp fishing on the deck.
Down
so
the edge.
there's more.
Down on the deck, yeah.
No, it was short, I think.
Yeah.
So there's more than one way to catch.
So we're coming in now to the last third of the match. Really.
Yeah.
Just we're coming.
It's make or break time now, isn't it?
There's people sort of going ahead, and I would imagine that those people already catching will be looking to have a backup plan just in case that shallow.
Absolutely,
starts to go.
Maybe prime an edge line, throw some bait in there, whatever. Sometimes you might find even the last hour you have to rest that shallow line just for 5 minutes, keep pouching it. When you go back on, it's even better.
Yeah, just resting it, giving them a bit of time in the bait to
get confidence. They're coming shallow.
So
really confident
on all the lakes. If you're looking at catching short, where down the edge, what would you be looking at, making a noise or putting a bed down?
I try and avoid the ground bait going down the tiny particle route, because you get a lot of fish, you get a lot of tails in your peg, you don't get many on the hook. I like to feed some particles, get the fish eating what you can put on the hook.
Yeah.
So throwing, not too far, throwing some bait, 4 mils, 6 mils.
Yeah, spot on. Right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to finish now because we're going to have a quick whiz round again and try and get an idea what's going on, and then I'll be weighing to batch over, so won't be long. Right, we're well into the last hour now. There's about 40 minutes left. We've come up to Benny's, past Loco, and they were catching a few shallow on Loco when we came up. The lads that you put right earlier.
Yeah, well, it was up this end, 17-19 or 18-19. I thought they're going to start catching a load of fish. It's actually turned out a couple of pegs down, peg 16. Been here 10 minutes, I've seen him catch 4 or 5 of those proper F1s. Well. They are 3-pounders on there, right weight builders.
Yeah. And he looks like he's doing well in his section, but we don't know over that other side of the lake. That,
it's tricky, isn't it? There's 5 lakes in today, 130 odd anglers, so you can't get around to them all.
It's like run around, isn't it?
Big time, yeah.
So we're on Benny's.
Yeah.
And we've
left
got
shoulder, peg 3.
Peg 3, yeah.
Right shoulder, peg 59.
Yeah. And he's catching really well on 3, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's fishing short in fairly deep water.
He's doing something different. He's doing things. Yeah. He's got the end peg.
Got another one on now.
You can see it now. Yeah, he's got another one. The other lad's next to him fishing shallow, but he's got this space down here.
Yeah.
And he's just, I don't know if he's fishing paste or something, but he's fishing on the deck and he's catching some proper fish.
Yeah.
Odd carp, decent F1s.
Well, we've been here 10 minutes and seen him have 5 or 6 fish.
Yeah, that's mega, isn't it?
Maybe 7.
That's a good finish, isn't it?
5, say 10 minutes we've been here. But that's fantastic. But there's not as many people on Benny's catching as we thought.
No, I think you can't see it on the cameras, but I think the wind's been pretty bad up here, and I think they're struggling to A, hold the pole, and B, feed the bait.
Yeah.
And I was noticing 1 or 2 lads have got a couple of butt sections on, so that's telling me that 14 metres, I think it's too far. It's a deep lake.
You said this a couple of times today. It's a good point.
Take a section off. Control less of the left to right with your pole, more of an up and down, obviously jigging.
Yeah.
And then when you're feeding, you take your hand off the pole, you can still hold your pole, get your feed in. If you fish too far, your pole goes out.
Yeah.
And you lose it. You lose your presentation.
And what you point out quite a few things, because you're very precise about this, and I think that's what makes things work. Is the amount of movement in, when you're fishing no shot. No float.
Overshot
it. And that movement, a lot of people are moving it too far, pulling it too high out of the water, creating that little bit of a bow you spoke about.
Yeah. So you need to be careful. You want a direct line right down to the straight as you can, direct as you can. And if your pole's going left and right, that caster's going left and right. What fish is going to eat that?
Certainly not an F1, is it?
No.
They're too cute.
No. So we want that caster going up and down in a direct line, as tight as we can to the pole tip.
And I've noticed also the few people that you've spoken to and you've told them about that.
Yeah, we might have mentioned to 1 or 2 people, taking a section off, got better presentation, got the feed better, grouped it better. You turn around, they're hooking a fish.
Yeah, brilliant. So we said about 120, 130 pounds at the start to win. What do you reckon?
I think it's still on for that. I think there's this lad behind me, he's catching.
Yeah.
There's a few on bonsai catching, and there'll be people we've not seen today.
Yeah, well, there we go. 35 minutes left. Let's get the weigh-in sorted in about that. We'll be back on in about 15, 20 minutes, getting all excited about the weigh-in. So, see you soon. Yay! Total winnings of £370 for 3rd overall, with £128 5 ounces from Benny's 9, Steve Hunt.
He's got a mobile, get it for him. Cheers. Yeah. That's worth a try.
So, 2nd overall, picking up £470 with £130 12 ounces from Bonsai 14, William Shepherd.
Hello.
You've got home as well, I think.
Thank you.
There you go, mate. Well done. Okay, so can we have the top 5 stay behind? Yeah. Okay, so take some photographs. So, 1st overall, picking up quite a nice tidy £620. with £142 15 ounces from Benny 6, David Banks. Right, so we're going to come on to the qualifiers now. So we need all the qualifiers to hang back as well, don't we? Yes. Yep, yeah. Okay. So these people are David Banks. Is that Steve? Steve Punt. Chris Hodgson. Andrew Brook. Craig Gorton. Aaron Cook. Gary Shepherd. Craig Naylor. Roy Butterfield. Paul Hart. Phil Newby. Patrick Ellsworth. Will Sweeney. Clint Wood. Matthew Threlfall. William Shepherd. Dean Marshall. Matt Vater. Chris Williams. And Terry Oldfield. And the final is on the 6th, Wednesday the 6th of August, okay?
6th of August.
So all those people who've qualified, please just come back. Well done. And we'll have a picture down there. Thank you for everyone for supporting this event. And if you haven't qualified, we'll see you at the next one or next year. Okay. Dave, congratulations. Today's winner. You've had a great day, haven't you?
It's been perfect, yeah.
Do you know how many fish you've had? You caught F1s today.
I couldn't tell you how many fish.
You've had 142 pounds.
142.15.
On Benny's Peg 6.
Benny's Peg 6.
Yeah. And did you fancy that when you drew?
When I got to my peg, I really fancied it.
Yeah. Do you know, have you fished here much before?
Not really. About 5 times in total.
Yeah.
But that's the first time I've been on Benny's.
Yeah. And it's all clicked together today.
It has, yeah.
So just briefly, just run us through how you've caught.
Well, I started short. I were in 2 minds whether to chuck a rod out.
Yeah.
But with wind coming into my peg,
yeah,
I started short on 6mm pellet. Had 3 fish on deck straight away.
Yeah.
Priming a caster line at 9 metre, because that's as far as I could fire casters
Yeah.
out.
Well, you've done the right thing. We were talking about this during the day, people fishing too far out.
Yeah.
And so you've done exactly what we thought was the right thing to do. And Dave Shires, who was walking around, said people fishing too far out. He fishes a lot. So credit to you, you've actually picked the right line.
I couldn't get them out no further. So I thought I can group them there nicely. So I settled on that. I tried a fixed rig to start with. Couldn't catch them. We're missing bites.
Yeah.
Presentation wasn't good.
Yeah.
So I went on to jigger, and I've stuck with jigger all day.
And how deep you fish on the jigger?
2.5, 3 foot.
Yeah.
And that's been best. I've had a couple shallow. Yeah. Really shallow, but they won't settle there.
Casters?
Casters.
Banded caster?
Banded caster.
Yeah, fantastic. So you've had a good day then, haven't
I've had a really good day, yeah.
So you qualified for the final. Is that the first final you've been in?
Oh, I was there last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Right, that's fantastic news. So you've got matters to finish, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lad who won it last year is going to be my travel partner.
Oh, well, that's perfect, isn't it? Yeah, so you're going to have some good knowledge.
Hopefully he can draw for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get 1, 2, 4 again.
Absolutely fantastic. That'd be superb, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
It's a great venue. It's versatile. It suits people that go there and have a little practice. You get used to it.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, mate. You've done brilliantly because it's a big field, a good field.
Yeah.
You've drawn half the peg and you've really done well. So, congratulations. And we'll see you in the final.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Lovely day.
Brilliant.
Cheers. Thank you.